Let's try that again, now that the mic is on, right, baby? Meow. Okay, ready? Hi, good morning everybody. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be one of the first videos on it. I was looking around on YouTube on my recommended the other day, and I saw several people pop up with this Booktube Newbie Tag. And I thought, well, I'm starting a booktube in January, so why don't I go ahead and do the tag? So this is kind of a very impromptu filming thing. Yeah, and some of the videos are going to be a little out of order. Like, this bookshelf is all set up right now, but probably the next one I put out or something like that, I built these and set them up, so it'll be a little out of order. But regardless, I'm going to do this nice Booktube Newbie Challenge. I hope you all enjoy, and let's get started. So, the first question is, why did you start this channel? The main reason I started this channel is because I read a lot this year. I believe we get into in one of the other questions what got me into reading / back into reading. But I read a lot this year. Over 150 books. The year is not finished. I'm recording this in December, so I can't give you the full count. I'm sure I'll have a breakdown at some point. Okay, sorry about that. My SD card ran out of footage space. So anyway, I was basically saying that I don't have a whole lot of people I can talk with about kind of non-fantasy stuff. So I figured I would start this channel, give it a try, see if that was something that maybe interested me, and then also learn a bunch of new different skills. Like, I really have wanted to learn how to edit videos for a long time. So yeah, that is kind of why I decided to start this channel. Question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I think a little more, obviously diversity is not the word, but different books. I don't generally gravitate towards like the book talk books, so the ones that are really, really big, the ones that are kind of upping the publishing industry. I'm not particularly interested in reading those, but I have a large focus in the classics. I love classic books. I have a whole shelf back there about classic literature, and I'm looking to get more into them. I think I can be someone that kind of branches out a little more from either the book talk books or just focusing on fantasy, because I also follow, please hear me when I say, I also follow a lot of people who focus primarily on fantasy books or primarily on horror books. So I think I'm going to have a lot of different options, and I also think I want to focus a lot on adaptations and how to make a good adaptation. Who knows? I might cut this part out of the video. We will see. But I don't know at the start if there's anything I feel like I'm going to bring differently, but I do want to try some things that I personally haven't seen a lot of on YouTube. Also, support your local libraries. I think I'm going to bring I'll bring a lot of energy to the YouTube space of, please read your books from the library before you purchase them. Yeah, so lots of advocacy for libraries. We'll use that as my answer. What am I most excited about for this channel? Like I said, learning new skills, learning how to edit videos. That'll be really cool. I'm also just excited to keep up with the amount I've been reading, because I took a break of reading as much as I have in high school and college, and I've been out of college for a year at this point. But yeah, so I didn't really push myself to see how much I could read, and I love reading, so I'm excited to continue motivating myself to read, and also gain a new skill. Number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading because I love hearing different perspectives of different authors. I love seeing what can come out of the minds of different authors, regardless of if they're good at the prose aspect or maybe they're less creative, but they have great prose and great humor and stuff like that. I think there's a lot to be learned from different perspectives and people who write and all sorts of things like that. So I really love learning new perspectives. I honestly love a good story, and a lot of media, like visual media, so let's use like TV shows and movies, especially post huge strike that happened. It feels repetitive because they don't really want to pay their writers to crank out something new and exciting, and they don't want to finance things that could be risks. While in books and literature in the publishing universe, they are always welcome to new ideas. So I like hearing all those perspectives. I also like how quickly books have moved into the, hey, maybe we should be nice to everybody and represent everybody. So yeah, and then I think it just allows my brain to work a lot more than maybe scrolling through social media or watching a TV show. That being said, that is not to knock anybody in the film industry in any capacity, but there is a nature of, well, with movies or TV you have to put millions of dollars into a project, while with book writing, depending on how popular the book gets, will never reach that amount. So, I love reading because I love a diversity of perspectives, and I like hearing new things and supporting people in trying out new things or presenting new ideas. What book or series got you into reading? Kind of looping back around to something I hinted at in the first question. I have been an avid reader since I was a kid. I don't know if there was anything specific that got me into it. I take that back. There absolutely was something specific that got me into reading. Accelerated reader points in elementary school. If you don't know what that is, that basically was a way to test kids' literacy that my school used in elementary school. So like you'd read a book, you'd take a brief test on the end just to like, did you comprehend everything in this book? You would take those tests. If you got them right, you would get a certain number of points. And I was really motivated to rack up those points because at the end of the year you got the big AR bookstore where you could buy a bunch of stuff if you got a certain number of points. So it was really just motivated out of my love for stuff. No, that's not true. But it definitely was a motivator. I mean, I am a firm believer that all schools need accelerated reader. But yeah, that was the big thing that got me into reading. And then from there, obviously, I found out I really enjoyed it. I was really big into the Hardy Boys series, I think in like 2nd or 3rd grade. So mysteries that weren't necessarily murder mysteries that I can remember. Maybe I need to go back and read some of them again. So I read a lot of the Hardy Boys. I would read a lot of the big books to get me points. I want to say the Order of the Phoenix, like the Harry Potter book, was worth like 150 AR points or something. That's probably way exaggerating, but that was kind of what got me into Harry Potter and reading big fantasy book series, everything like that. I think my last year of elementary school, so 5th grade-ish, I got like 850 AR points. But yeah, that's what got me into reading. And since then, I've just accumulated more and more books over time that I've really enjoyed. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I have a lot of questions, I think, about the engagement aspect. Like, I am still very new to learning how social media works because I've always been a social media lurker, where like I never posted anything, but I would always like and comment. So I think I'd ask a lot of questions about engagement. And then I think, and I'm obviously very, very new into this, so I don't know if I'll necessarily lose my passion for it, but like Ariel Bissett, I think is her name. She's currently renovating her house. I'll link her down below. She was a big booktuber that kind of strayed away from doing booktube. So now she does a lot of videos about renovating her house. She still has a podcast, so she would definitely be one I would want to talk to about, you know, oh my god, the cats are fighting. She would be one I'd want to talk to about like what happens when I don't want to do this anymore. That being said, I still really, really want to do this. I think I'd talk a lot about books with people. Jack Edwards is one who has a really great taste in books, so I would definitely ask him more about that. There's a bunch of people I would probably ask. I follow several. But yeah, I don't think I have anything specific. And I think the question I would ask Ariel is like very anxiety motivated. So, I don't know. Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I work a full-time job, so I think the challenge is going to be both trying to work my job, my full-time job, and try to produce content on a weekly basis. I have a lot of ideas that are going to need quite a bit of practice to execute. But I think it's possible. So I think the biggest thing is just going to be a lot about time management and like figuring out, oh, well, I should spend my time doing this, or I should spend my time doing this. Obviously, my full-time job is a set period of time. So working around that while also still maintaining like friendships and actually getting the chance to read the books I'm reading and stuff like that. So I think that is probably going to be the most difficult challenge. Everything else can be learned, can be balanced, especially because for a lot of people, like YouTube and social media is like a job on top of a job. So, but that kind of segues into, if you want to support me and if you want to help me out, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm really excited to try this out. 8. When did you start reading? Like I kind of mentioned earlier, I started reading as a kid. But kind of looping back around to this year, last December, I got myself a few books. And that was kind of the thing that reignited, oh my god, I used to really love this. I loved doing this. Like, this is what I want to spend my time doing. I can't remember. Oh, I actually do remember. Last year, Dracula Daily was coming out. And if you haven't heard of that, Dracula is written in a journal format or recording. So it's like a compilation of all of these things. And it's dated. It is not written chronologically, though. So, someone, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name, I'm sure I'll put it on screen, but someone decided to, like, send it out in daily increments whenever it hit, like, public domain. And that was really great. I subscribed to that. I really, really enjoyed it. They do it every year, so if you want to subscribe, I believe the journal entries start in May and end in October. November, October. So that was the thing that I was like, ooh, I should definitely start reading again. So I did. So thanks Dracula Daily for that. I encourage you guys to check it out. Yeah, so that's kind of what reignited my passion. And then since like December of last year, I've just been like devouring books. Number 9, where do you read? I read among kind of a lot of different areas. I have an Audible membership. That's how I listen to my audiobooks. I use Kindle Unlimited. That's where I read a lot of my ebooks. I buy books from back here. I'm from Louisville, so Louisville has a lot of really great selections of bookstores. Just overall, there's a lot of small business bookstores. There's Books A Million. There is Barnes & Noble. Louisville has a great selection of bookstores. Also where I read, I will actually probably take you guys along on a vlog to go get a library card. I moved out of the area and moved back into the area recently, like within the last year. So I still have to go get a library card. So I'm hoping that's going to be where about 95% of what I'm reading comes from. Not 95, that might be a little too much because I still have the Kindle Unlimited and Audible. But yeah, I will be doing that, and then I will of course be using the Libby app, getting all my ebooks and stuff through there. I kind of read everywhere, if that makes sense, in a lot of different mediums. Number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I kind of hinted at this with question number 1, like, or maybe not question number one. Yeah, why did I start this? I read a lot of literary fiction. I have made it a goal to read a lot more translated works next year. I reread quite a bit of kind of stuff I read in middle school, like this year because of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I reread the first 3 Hunger Games and then read the book, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I also reread the entire Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus series this year. So a lot of like nostalgic rereads are also stuff I like to do. I'm trying to read more nonfiction this year. I've got a goal to read at least 1 translated work and 1 nonfiction a month, along with at least 1 classic a month, because I love classics. So if you have any recommendations for me, please drop them down in the comments. I would love to read them. It's kind of a lot of stuff. The only one I don't really read, like I'll take recommendations for anything. The only one I don't read a whole lot of is high fantasy, but I'm open to it. But I'm sure I'll break this down, but a lot of my favorite authors, I guess, are fantasy authors. I mean, T.J. Klune, Neil Gaiman, a lot of those guys are. So, yeah, I like to read all kinds of books, so if you have recommendations for me, please send them my way. I don't build a TBR. That's not something I do. I generally just look at something and I go, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll go ahead and read it. Like, I don't make a list of, like, I must read these things. Oh, it's cloudy outside now. So I kind of like to read everything. What I really, really would like to read is more literary fiction, more non-fictions, kind of any variety. I read Helter Skelter this year, which was really, really good. I read some philosophy for the first time this year. Yeah, so I'm good to read anything. It says there's an 11th question, which is sometimes done, and it's, what does your book collection look like? It's right behind me. I'm also putting out a video of a bookshelf, like, design my new bookshelf with me, because I just got these recently and set them up. I think you'll get to see my whole book collection next week, probably. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Long story short, TLDR, I wanted to learn some new things, and I'm really excited to start this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy my content. I hope you enjoyed this video. Whoa, segue right into the closing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave some likes, leave some comments. Tell me what books that you read in 2023 that you really enjoyed, that you think I should read next year. We will be seeing more of each other, I'm sure. Otherwise, have a great day and go read some books. Go to the library. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.